pull up in the spaceship, fat right. Tattoo on me ass, pretty backside. Girl, a copy me, what a sad side. Them ugly like a Rockwell. But chop on them, how them a pop style. And every man I say them loose like a top style. Tell them now worry about me, cause me have mine. Top tier lifestyle. Me stay fly, cause me love jet. Money stockpile, and me not no budget. Anywhere me go, me a the main subject. Anytime me roll by your man a broke neck. Tell a girl me stay fly, cause me love jet. Money stockpile, and me not no budget. Anywhere me go, me a the main subject. Now talk to me if you not talk money, I will suggest. Me pussy fat up in a drawers, I'm in a Fiat. Man, I crush on them, I lust over me body parts. Me do what me want, me and me own a boss. I mean, I give a fuck when some bitch attack. Yeah, me shape like hourglass. Me and Lola in the drop top, I have a blast. Some girl too done for in our class. Them lifestyle dirty, sour grass. You want talk to me, boy, talk money fast. Dollar sign off enough in the money stash. Me a the queen bee with the honey pot. I'm a cute, I'm a smart. Can me stay fly, can me love jet. Money stockpile, I'll me not no budget. Anywhere me go, me a the main subject. Anytime me roll by you, man, I broke neck. I true me stay fly, can me love jet. Money stockpile, I'll me not no budget. Anywhere me go, me a the main subject. Now talk to me if you not talk money, I will suggest. Yo, no boy can't say them get easy access. Come in a jump if you have sex. Body good, pussy clean, and no abscess. For me, a little girl, my mother say me have sense. Me step in the place and I cause enough stress. Baby girl, why you looking like you're upset? I must you through your man and pre me like I'm obsessed. Me just enjoy my success. So me stay fly, cause me love jet. Money stockpile, me not no budget. Anywhere me go, me a the subject, the main one. Yo, yeah, yeah, me stay fly, cause me love jet. Stay so fly, cause me love jet. Up in the sky, up in the sky. Them can't stop me no matter how much I'm trying. Them not bother me, I'm unbothered. Them not bother me, I'm unbothered.
I don't know which street I am, but somebody shot in them.
Someone shot at your car?
No, somebody shot in my car. I'm a board driver.
First at 5:30, newly released 911 call shed some light on the shooting that killed an Uber passenger in Buckhead.
Well, we're learning more about the woman who was gunned down, and police say she was not shot at random. Atlanta News First, Rachel Aragon is live along Lindbergh Drive where that shooting happened. Rachel, what details have you uncovered tonight?
Well, earlier today, we learned from the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office the victim that we're talking about, 31-year-old Teisha Brewley. Again, the shooting happened right here off of Lindbergh Drive yesterday morning, but now newly released 911 call shedding more light about that fatal shooting.
We need to backtrack. We need to figure out where she came from.
Today, we're learning more about what happened to the woman gunned down while riding in the back seat of an Uber Black Escalade in Buckhead. Newly released 911 calls appear to show a friend called an Uber for 31-year-old Teisha Brewley early Tuesday morning.
This is ADT Security. We're calling to report a mobile panic alert for an Uber customer. He stated he ordered an Uber for a friend who hasn't arrived to his location yet, and the driver's location is showing to be in one spot for a long period of time.
Minutes later, the caller tells the 911 operator.
He did say she was supposed to have arrived at his location by 4:31, and she had not.
Atlanta News First spoke briefly at the scene with the Uber driver, who said the victim was his only passenger. Despite multiple gunshots to the car, the driver told us he was not hurt. The driver also called 911.
Sir, are you saying someone is inside your car shot, or just your car is shot?
No, somebody in my car is shot.
Okay, the person, is they breathing?
Yeah, I see some breathing.
Police say the Uber driver is being cooperative with the investigation. The department says there could be multiple shooters and are asking the public for help.
Right now, we're just asking anyone if they saw anything, heard anything, to call Crime Stoppers where they can remain anonymous.
And yesterday, Uber released a statement to Atlanta News First saying they are horrified by what had happened. They also said they've been in contact and checked in with the Uber driver. They also say that they are standing by to assist police with the investigation. We're live in Buckhead. Rachel Aragon, Atlanta News First.
Rachel, thank you. Well, sunshine.
And we pick back up with that breaking news we've been following for you right now at 8:30. We know that a woman is dead after a shooting in Buckhead on Lindbergh Drive.
So we want to check in with our very own Rebecca Schramm. She has been out there talking with investigators and gathering details. So Rebecca, what have we learned about this?
Well, Lana and Rob, we just got an update from Deputy Chief Charles Hampton, and he tells us this was a targeted shooting. I want to show you what we're seeing right now. They just loaded the woman's body into the medical examiner's van here on Lindbergh Drive. We've got a number of apartments around here, so a lot of people have been watching outside their apartment windows as all of this has unfolded this morning. Police have been out here for about 4 hours. It was about 4:30 when they first got the call of a person shot, and we were just talking with a man who told us that he came out and the only vehicle he saw at that moment right after the shooting was that Cadillac Escalade. Police tell us at the moment that it was being driven, it was being used as an Uber. The driver must have a limo license as well, because we can tell there's a limo tag. So you know how sometimes drivers will drive for a limo service, they might drive for Lyft and Uber. Well, at this point he says the driver was driving for Uber. That driver is being cooperative, talking to police about what happened. From what they've been able to gather, the other vehicle involved in this incident was some sort of sedan. They're not sure of the color of that sedan, just that it might have been a light color sedan, but several witnesses have described a vehicle sort of like that. Listen to what Deputy Chief Charles Hampton told us about another incident.
We also know at around 4 o'clock this morning at Lennox and Buford, there was another property damage with vehicles being shot at, and we're trying to work very closely to see if that is related to this incident as well. Right now, we don't have much to give out. Various witnesses have said that there's some type of sedan just due to the daylight and the nighttime and the lights at night. We don't really know the vehicle color. It might be a light colored sedan. So right now we're just asking anyone if they saw anything, heard anything, to call Crime Stoppers where they can remain anonymous.
And you're taking another live look here at the scene on Lindbergh Drive. They're continuing to take photographs and gather evidence, including a whole bunch of shell casings from bullets. From what we understand, we asked if there were multiple shooters. The answer was yes, but more than 2. The detectives just aren't sure at the moment. They're, of course, having to process this scene and the other scene to try to piece this all together. That scene nearby at Lennox and Buford Highway. So as we continue to get more, we will certainly let you know. Again, we don't have the woman's name, just that she is 30 years old. They just removed her body from the scene. We did see a woman who showed up around the corner a short time ago. She was very distraught. She claimed that the victim was her sister, but we were unable to speak with her. She just was not in a state where she could speak with us. But as we said, we'll continue to gather information, and we'll let you know as soon as we learn more. Live in Buckhead, Rebecca Schramm, Atlanta News First.
God, that is scary. Typically, you pay a little extra money for that Uber version of the limousine, where you feel a little safer, you feel a little more comfortable in there. So that really just is very scary.
And even though police haven't shared a great deal of information, you get the feeling that they're already on the trail of maybe finding out who these shooters were. Of course, we'll continue to check in with Rebecca throughout the morning.
Loved ones gathered to honor the life of a woman gunned down in Buckhead.
Investigators say 31-year-old Teisha Brewley was shot while riding in the backseat of an Uber. Atlanta News First Carly Barnett spoke with people who knew her at a vigil tonight. Carly, good evening.
Good evening, Sean. Rick, we are much closer to that memorial now. If you saw us at 9:30 and 10, we had to stand a good distance back from the sheer volume of people that were out here to pay their respects to Teisha Brewley. Let's take a look. They have balloons out here, flowers, candles form the shape of a heart, and her nickname down here, Tavi. There were a lot of heavy hearts out here tonight. Her friend says Teisha Brewley just wanted everyone to have a good time. She said she had goals that she was working toward, and it was devastating to see those goals cut short. People came together Thursday night, placing candles and balloons near Lindbergh and Adina Drives in Buckhead, right near where 31-year-old Teisha Brewley was shot and killed early Tuesday morning.
I honestly never would have thought that something like this would happen to her. This is not what I saw for her.
Her close friend Megan said she was a wonderful mother to her daughter and an aspiring dance hall artist.
She just always had a song in her head.
So she couldn't believe it when she learned her friend, so full of life, had been killed.
I know what that means when somebody asks you like where you are before they tell you something. So I knew at that point that something had happened to her, something really bad had happened to her.
Atlanta police say she was shot while riding in an Uber and the attack appears to have been targeted. But those who knew Teisha say they will remember the woman who always wanted to make others happy. Clearly a woman who was so very loved. We did check in with Atlanta police tonight. At this point, they have not said there are any updates in this case. They still have not made any arrests. Live tonight in Buckhead, Carly Barnett, Atlanta News First.